some who have played varsity for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, and a year. Basically, constantly count myself really blessed to be able to coach these guys. And I don't just say that because it's senior night. They work hard, they're coachable, they listen, they're smart, they can play the game. It really makes it an awful lot of fun. And I'm going to introduce a few of them. And thank you, especially to Larissa and to Kevin for taking statistics the way they do. They're proficient, efficient, very nice job. Thank you guys very much. Then our two managers who are not, I think they're probably up home with scores, Kirsty and Annalisa. If we're ever in the future have problems, winning some games or need some advice, we probably should call up Annalisa, because in the 2 years that she has managed, I think the team is about 38-3 or something like that. So she is probably at the best winning percentage of any manager that has ever maybe gone through here. And so thank you to her. I think maybe I'll go to players here quickly. Have them stand up. Everybody can take a look at them as these words are said about them. Start with Nick Schmidt. About Nick, and embarrass him just a little bit. I did it on Saturday. Nick moved from Jamestown, came to camp with us in Wisconsin his sophomore year. Looked at him and saw him play, thought, Nick is just a great kid. I mean, you just don't make him much better than that. But as my assistant coach and I were talking, we said, we just feel bad that it doesn't look like he will ever probably play varsity ball at Hillcrest. The guy's coming up, he just, you know, it's too bad. Maybe he'll get a couple B-squad years, and then maybe he'll, you know, who knows what. Hopefully there'll be room for the senior year. And Nick worked so hard, and of this whole crew of seniors, he is, from his sophomore to senior year, most improved. He is a hard worker, he is extremely improved. More than anybody else from his sophomore to his senior year. And he has really helped us in the post the last 2 years and has had 2 excellent varsity seasons. A couple other things about Nick that when I think of him, these words come to mind. His integrity, his trustworthiness, his intelligence, and his faithfulness. And when I think of Nick, what I think of, if you would ever want to give anything for safekeeping, whether it's a word or whether it's a possession, give it to Nick, and it will be safe. So, great 3 years you've had here. Miss you next year. Nick Schmidt. When I think of Doug, some words come to mind like the worm. He is an extremely hard worker, on and off the floor. You want something done well, something that might take 18 hours to do. If somebody else will get tired after 2 and go home, Doug gets a job because he's there for 18 hours or however long it takes. He has made the most of his ability in his years at Hillcrest on the basketball floor. Big contributions have been defense in the post. I think of 2 things in particular. At Ashby, big block, going the other way that changed that game. And also at Underwood, Eric Jensen should remember. The one that you put back in his face. You can even say Doug even helped the opposing.
I got it on tape.
I couldn't help but bring that up. I saw that happen in a Big Ten game last week, so don't feel so bad. Some other things about Doug. He can talk to anybody about just about anything and make them feel comfortable. He has a wide range of interests, and Doug demonstrates many attributes of Jesus Christ as he goes about his day-to-day and his daily life. Doug? Fergie. Then Daniel, 2-year starter. Excellent shot blocker and very important component to the team. That's an offensive element in the post, so he can face a basket at the 8 to 12-foot jump shot, be a threat to go the basket off the dribble. Daniel, for a post player, really runs the floor very, very well. Sometimes our guards get the ball up and it looks like it's going probably 15 feet up the wall, and I say to the assistants, no, Heidi, throw that thing. And Daniel goes up, pulls it in, and does that well off the break. And is going to finish those as he puts the ball in the hole too. Daniel also likes to keep things loose in the locker room. And notice, without question, look for Daniel to come up big in the tournament this year. So he's going to finish the year strong for us. So next year, Daniel Berge, good 2 years. I think quickness, aggressiveness. I think that he is probably the player that really combines basketball and football like none other. 100% plus all the time. Excellent slasher to the basket. Unselfish. He is a great teammate. And I think the quality and the depth of this team, one of the reasons that we have been so successful this year is that it is because of guys like Jesse. You have to have played the game to really appreciate what it's like to sick Kildy and Garvin on 2 opposing guards for 5 minutes. And then bring Jesse and Donnie off the bench until Johnny and Ryan can come back and get after him. And he has really done that well this year. I think that's also one reason that many of our games have been so close at halftime, as again tonight, unfortunately. But midway through the 3rd and 4th quarter, you often will see a separation that takes place between us and the opponents, and that is a big reason why. We won't only miss a valuable player in Jesse of skills, but his big heart and his quick smile. Jesse, Scott is somebody that before the season started, I think he probably would have told you, boy, I hope that I can just make the team. And because he has worked so hard, because he plays hard all the time, because he is a team player, because he just gives everything he has, took a look and said, Scott, we need you. We need you on the team. We need you in practice. We need you on the bench. We need you on the floor. He said, whatever I'm to do, whether it's on the floor, off the floor, spiritually, just ask me and I'll do it. Scott has really improved this season as well. You have seen him the way he comes off the screens, the way he moves away from the basket. He has come in and scored a lot of baskets, got some rebounds, and makes things happen for us. Scott, nice job this season. Ben Backstrom. Is Ben here? Ben. I think, here's what I think of Ben. Some of these words won't mean anything to all of you, but to a few of us they will. Ben is active. He's an active player, active person. I think of him as Randy. That Ben is always up to something. Ben is good in offensive transition, up and down the floor. Mixes it up. He's tough on the boards. He has a scorer's mentality when he gets on the floor, which means he's not shy about putting the ball up. He can score in a hurry for us. He's valuable in keeping things loose in the locker room, and valuable when we need a change in tempo, or to create tempo, or to get things going on both ends of the floor. Miss you next year again. Dan, 3-year starter. Words that come to mind are tough, competitive, and steady. He can play inside, play out. He's aggressive. He's a great listener. He is a great leader. I also remember the second quarter last year in the tournament game against Chicago Clinton Graceville that just about ended the season, that one quarter, and you played a big part of that. I think that he has the ability to take over a game. In a 2 or 3 minute period of time, it can be lights out for the other team, as was for Ashby this year. Dan's dad this weekend had a little chance to talk about him, and he mentioned that he is not a complainer. He's the type of person that if we were to tell Dan we need to play the rest of our games outside with no roof for the rest of the year, he'd say, "Where's the shovel? Let's go out and clear the court and let's play." He's just, whatever we have to do, he'll do it. And finally, I think that he is a warrior. He is the type of person and player that we want going into tournament play. Miss you next year, and I'm also thinking warrior varsity letter winner. I think that's the first in a while. Probably a string of many, as it appears, may happen. Ryan was all conference his sophomore year, his junior year, and without question will be his senior year. All-time assist leader, top 5 in scoring, top 5 in steals, top 5 in free throw percentage, top 5 in field goals made, and on and on and on. I think of Ryan, he has one of the most, I don't know, maybe I should switch the adjectives a little bit, but to me, his jump shot is just, whether you want to say gorgeous or beautiful. As he extends, gets up off the floor, his feet are squared to the basket. There isn't much nicer in basketball than a 20-footer from him going through the net. He is one of the best passers that I have coached, the best defensive player the last 2 years. He's also one of the favorites of opposing players. In all seriousness, by the end of the ball game, whoever Ryan is guarding, he knows who the guy's going out with, what his sister's name is, what he's going to do the next weekend, and that's just kind of the type of player and person that he is, which is an attribute to him. I've appreciated his kindness to everybody, his honesty, and he reaches out to others. After 4 years, if I go to practice next November, Ryan Garvin isn't there, I might think that I'm at the wrong school. I might be there. Ryan Garvin. To Mrs. Bergen, who will finish us up this evening. Right? All right.
You seniors will be glad to know that I didn't come prepared this year, so I don't have any notes. It won't take me very long. But I would like to thank Mr. Preston for asking me to be the team chaplain. I think I've been the one that's been blessed the most by spending time with these young men. As I think about being a parent of these guys, you all should be very thankful to have Mr. Preston as the coach. Not only is he a terrific basketball coach, but he's a terrific example for these young men on how to be men and how to be godly men. And Mr. Preston's primary concern for these guys, believe it or not, is that they know and love the Lord Jesus Christ with all their heart and they serve Him. And secondly, that they're good basketball players and win lots of games. And like I said, it's a real blessing for me to spend time with these guys. And I wish every parent could have been with us in Wisconsin. And I think I wrote this in the letter to you parents, that if you could have heard your son, their prayer requests, and how they prayed for one another, you would have been so proud of what they wanted to accomplish in their spiritual lives. And at the beginning of the season in Wisconsin, or actually prior to the beginning of the season in Wisconsin, we set team goals, 5 spiritual and 5 basketball goals. I think we've done a really good job in our spiritual goals so far, and we've accomplished, I know, one of our basketball goals for sure by winning the conference. And we've got some more work to do on both ends of it. But we'll maybe get a chance to share those goals with you later at another time. But thank you for asking me. It's been a blessing to me.
The coaches, Mr. Preston, and our assistant coaches, that they're a good Christian example for all of us, and same with Dwight. And they do a good job. They make us work hard in practice, but like you said, we have devotions about once a week, and we have devotions every day before practice, and so they're really good Christian examples for us. And they just really do a good job.
I'd like to thank Mr. Preston for the best 4 years of basketball I've ever endured, I guess. But I've learned so much. Thank you for that very much. I know he's going to be mad at me for saying this, but because he's the most modest person ever. But John Cooley, thank you. I know. You don't have to look at me. I wouldn't want to put a picture else, Joe. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. Thanks, Craig, and thanks, Jeff Sadness, for all the encouragement. Thanks, team. Let's keep it going.
The season's been really special for me, especially since my dad has been team chaplain. It's been a lot of fun. And I just want to thank Mr. Preston and all the coaches. They do a great job with us every day, getting the best out of us. And I think this year we got really good team unity again. And I mean, all of us like each other. You know, we play well together. And I think our depth is what's going to come down and help us in the tournament the most.
Played basketball this year. Coach, well, all three coaches are great Christian examples for all of us. Dwight, great having you with us this year. And it's kind of fun to be able to be a part of this team because every day before the game, everyone goes in the locker room, second quarter and the second quarter or first quarter of the B game, or earlier, or a little bit later than that. And it doesn't take everybody that long to get ready. Everyone's dressed and ready to go. But as you walk up and down, and people doing the basketball getting ready to go, we look up and down the aisles, and you'll see players laying on a bench in a word of prayer before the game. And you don't get to see that with very many teams. It's kind of nice to be able to be a part of a team.
The most important thing, I guess, is I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for one of the best birthdays I've ever had.
Kirsty, you weren't here when we said thank you, but thank you very much for all that you have done. And not too many of the players mention that except for Garvin Diaz, but I know that they all say thank you to your parents. And that, for me, is one of the best things about coaching at Hillcrest. Because, first of all, I know why most of you send your sons here to school. And because of your support, and because I generally don't get 25 calls from parents wondering why you're doing this or not doing this, I mean, that just makes it a lot more fun for everybody. I know that your sons appreciate you very, very much. And then, I know the team is thinking this. There's more than one. There's a little unfinished business that has just been kind of gnawing at us a little bit from last year. And we hope that when March starts, that we can take care of that for everybody, because that will be a lot of fun if that happens. And then to Mrs. Berge, who has, I don't even know how many years, has been cheerleading 8 years, and has done just a great job of working at time with cheerleaders, football, and basketball. And this is going to be it for her. So we'll bring her up, and thank you very much.
Shannon Kildee remarked it looked like a press conference.
The microphone.
Scary. My thoughts are really all over the place right now. I'm thinking this is the last time I get to say anything. You know.
Wally, hear that?
No, such fun. And I figured I'm going to be at the games anyway, so I may as well be doing something productive. And I really enjoy it. I enjoy the girls, I enjoy the fans tons, and I enjoy the guys, and I've just liked it. What I have given up, however, is sitting with you parents. I never did that. And if you haven't noticed, I never sat with Wally. He's probably glad about that. But I realize now, and sometimes when we get ready to go and I say, honey, I gotta go early. I'm gonna be there for, before the B squad cheerleaders change, I gotta be there. And he was like, okay. If I wasn't doing this, we wouldn't have to go to all of that. I don't think we're sorry we did. I have enjoyed it a lot. Cheerleading is really something that we've worked hard at. You know that because many people come up and say, gee, Chris cheerleaders really look pretty good. And compared to some of the other schools, we really do. For instance, I talked to the girls tonight from the other school. They had a lot of earrings on that they aren't allowed to wear. They've never been told that. Nobody in their school cares. Their athletic director doesn't bother to get the rules, give them to any person who's there are tons of rules that I am supposed to follow, and if we didn't, we could wind up with some serious consequences here. You would not believe the rules the cheerleader has to follow. But anyway, that's not the point. We practice as much as the guys. We practice every day, an hour and a half. We go to all the games, and we try to do it right. We try to refine it. Have you ever noticed how many pieces of paper hanging up on the wall by the cheerleaders? I'm like a detail person, and I have all these lists of all these things that we're going to do in what order. I really thank the girls. It has been a fun year. We have 5 seniors out of the squad of 6. And Kim, I'm going to miss a lot. Kim came to us from North Carolina. Kim is one of the few people that we got at Hillcrest that had a real cheerleading background. She got to cheer on some squads when she was in middle school and junior high, the kind of things that you saw on ESPN. Have you ever watched those cheerleading contests? And if you ever have a chance to watch those girls when they do any jumps and stuff, she has a high-level cheerleading skill and a real sense about it, and I'm going to really miss that. She's been with us for 3 years, came as a sophomore. And Gretchen, when I think about Gretchen, I think about all the emails. Gretchen and I emailed before she ever came because her sister was a cheerleader for me. And her sister had gone home to Arizona and actually taught her some of the stuff, and I thought, this is great, getting somebody who knows the stuff. I don't have to start from scratch every single year. And then she emailed me and said, guess what, I'm not coming. Was that the beginning of that summer? By the end of the summer, she changed her mind. The last minute came anyway. I was like, yes. That was great. And Sarah, I used to say to Sarah when she was a freshman and a sophomore, Sarah, why don't you go in for cheerleading? I knew she wasn't playing volleyball or girls basketball, so this was a right candidate here, No, I could never do that. Oh, I could never do that. And then one year she said, I'll help you in cheerleading. I don't want to go out for cheerleading, but I'll carry the bags with you. I'll be your manager. Great. So we had this worked out. She's going to be the manager. And not very many girls came out in football cheerleading, and guess what? She went from manager to cheerleader. And it's been good. And Wendy and Crystal came this year from California. Well, when Crystal was here last year, Wendy joined us this year. And in their wildest dreams, I don't imagine that they thought they'd be a high school cheerleader. And that's one of the really beauties of Hillcrest for me, for girls who would never be able to have this experience at a bigger school, can come here to Hillcrest and get that fun of being a cheerleader, being a good cheerleader. First of all, that stunk tonight, Daniel. That was really cute. Yeah, that worked out with Adam, I guess. I wasn't expecting that. I only have one request, okay? The Berkey boys are known for defense. Defense, defense, defense. I am so sick of defense. Okay? Just once. I'd like to be the mother of a high scorer. 8 years of your kid played a great game on defense. Just once. I would like you guys to all say, man, oh man, 23 points for Bernie? That's never happened. And, now Mr. Preston said you're going to finish strong. So this is good. That's my one request. But I want to thank the cheerleaders. You got